Hello everyone, Ian Bailey here and welcome back to the channel, and today we are starting off a brand new series called Trick Clinic. Let's have a look at the first video. That's right everyone, thank you very much for coming back and watching another YouTube video. Since the last video there's been Blackpool that has come and gone so quickly. Not only that, but I was also then invited to go up to Edinburgh and lecture for the Edinburgh Magic Circle, and I have to say that was a fantastic club. I have never been to a club where there is such a crazy kind of cool environment there, right? So they host it in a Brewdog brewery right in the centre of Edinburgh, and there are so many big names there. I think a lot of people obviously move to Edinburgh because of you know, the Fringe and all the stuff that goes on in Edinburgh. There's so many shows and all sorts going on there. Just a lot of really good people there and so welcoming. We had so much fun. Basically me, my wife, my son and my parents travelled up. My dad's side of the family is from Scotland, and so they go up kind of once or twice a year anyway to go and visit family. So we combined it with that, which was really nice. So we flew up. It was a great chance for us to kind of see how my son behaves on a plane, and thankfully just a 1 hour flight from Heathrow was nice and simple and a good way of trialling that and seeing how he got on. So he did really, really well. We were very, very impressed. Yeah, it was great to have my parents there to kind of babysit our son, which meant that we could go out for kind of like a fancy meal one night, but then also go to the lecture, which meant that my wife could come along and watch me lecture. She's only done that one other time, and that was in Buxton before our son was born. And yeah, believe it or not, she does enjoy watching me lecture. I think it's nice for her to see the kind of a community that I'm always trying to reach and you know, kind of serve in some way. And yeah, it was really, really nice to have that time together. So I want to say a big thank you to Edinburgh Magic Circle for having me. And if you are part of a club and for some reason you've either don't know who I am, which is probably quite likely, or you've booked someone else, you've worked your way down the list of lecturers, and for some reason you've missed me. You know, things do happen, mistakes do happen. I would recommend you go on to ianbaileymagic.com. I've got a little tab at the top, which is to book me to lecture, and I can guarantee you a fantastic night. I will put some testimonials up on the screen, but a lot of people really enjoy this lecture, and the reason why is I teach over 20 tricks in this lecture, and they are all varied. I think there's 2 card tricks at the most, and those card tricks are not even standard card tricks. There are so many varied things, and yeah, I have so much fun doing it. It's a real passion of mine, and it's the most favourite thing that I do within magic. So if you haven't seen me lecture, then please do get in touch. However, what I want to do is try and get into a regular format with these videos, and once a month I was thinking of doing a thing called Trick Clinic. And this is where we take a trick, whether it's a recent one or a really, really old one, okay? And we change the prop, we change the premise, we do something with that trick to make it better. And if you know me, you know that I am a huge Jay Sankey fan. I follow some of his recent stuff, but obviously the part, kind of the old school Jay Sankey is, yeah, just incredible. Some of the thinking that he's done and some of the effects have really resonated with me. With, for example, Holy Moly is a big one. In a flash, there's tons of really, really good tricks that he released, especially back in that kind of early noughties when I was first getting into magic. So this one trick I want to look at, and this is a trick, and what's interesting about Jay is that some of his, because he's released so much, some of the stuff, if you go on his website, sankeymagic.com, you'll see a whole array of what I would call evergreen content. This is stuff that has stood the test of time, that he's always kind of, you know, ordering more units of to sell, producing more units, etc. But then there's some tricks that come and go, and some of these are really good, but they just, for some reason, maybe are too expensive to make. And some of them, you know, maybe didn't sell as well as he thought, and he thought, well, maybe this isn't worth you know, selling again. Now, one of these things was a trick called the Magus Capsule. What a great name. And this was a kind of an interesting take on the standard chop cup or cups and balls. And it was a in the hands cups and balls routine. And it used a prop which was quite unusual. It was basically like a time capsule or some kind of metal cylinder. And what was interesting about this is that it wasn't a cup. It was something that you could do in the spectator's hands if you wanted to. You could play it out of their hands and all sorts. But what was really interesting is the way the loading of this worked. The kind of misdirection or the routining of it allowed you to load in the next item as you are emptying the contents of this capsule. Really interesting way of doing it. And there are some drawbacks to this in terms of final loads, I think, but maybe don't play as well as a cup. But what I will do is I'm going to play the trailer for you now, right? This is old school Jay Sankey. I'm going to play the trailer and then we'll get back to the Magus Capsule and how I think we can bring it up to modern day and hopefully resurrect this item from not the grave. I wouldn't say it's dead. I would say we're in some form of middle ground. I don't know, so somewhere where, you know, from a resting place.
I sincerely hope you're not easily frightened. Now this one, he's just a little scary. Why? Why is the cups and balls not performed more often for real people in real performance conditions? So under cover of a very natural echoing action, boom, boom, I can perpetually load that second ball in. There's no time delay between when the ball comes out and when the other ball is loaded in. It's this built-in misdirection that is one of my favorite things about the Magus Capsule design. Go hold out your hands, boom, the cherry, and then say, actually it's not that, it's that. You know what this is? This is a nest. It's a nest. Listen. I can even put them farther away. I can put them in my back pocket. Snap my fingers, and again, he comes back. Sometimes, of course, since he's a bird, he's gonna lay an egg. That's just gonna happen. I want you to take the piece of tissue paper and put your signature on it. You'll see it melt right through the side of the capsule. Right through the side. Your piece of tissue paper. Back inside with, of course, your signature still on.
There we go. Hopefully you enjoyed that trailer, wacky, crazy as it is, and you can see in that video this capsule. Now, I did own this effect, and I still have the DVD of this effect, but I have no idea where that blasted capsule is. That sounded angry, but I was just trying to find a way of expressing my anger of not being able to find it. And yeah, so I was looking around and I was thinking, right, what kind of items can we use to resurrect this routine, okay, to start using this routine again without this peculiar item, okay? And I don't think it's bad to have peculiar or interesting items in a routine. They don't always have to be everyday items. However, obviously he doesn't make this effect anymore, and if you love the look of the effect but you can't perform it, then hopefully this will help. What I will make clear is I'm not revealing how this works. I'm not going to reveal any kind of the routines. But if you're kind of fairly well schooled in magic, you're going to see what I'm doing, and you'll be able to kind of pick this up and run with it. So let's have a look at the prop that I have replaced this with. So this is it. This is a kind of a gift box. This could be used for crayons or pens or anything like this, but you will see these online quite a fair bit. I think I maybe got these from some online store. I can't remember whether it was something like AliExpress or something crazy. But yeah, these are kind of just pen lids, essentially. Let me have a look, sorry, kind of like a pen case. Let me have a look on this. This is a bit of a rubbish kind of thing, but this is around about 5 inches onto my terrible ruler here. But it's about 5 inches long, and it has this little lid. Now the lid is important in this effect. Jay's capsule, the lid is a lot longer, right? And that is helpful if you maybe want to kind of, you know, use some other items. However, what I've done, just for the sake of professionalism, is I've got just a ball of tissue, okay? And I'm going to essentially perform this routine for you with this new prop. Right now, I want to show you a quick performance of what this routine now looks like with the gift tube. So we have here, and I can hand this out and have it examined. They can reach inside, examine everything, and they will see a little bit of paper or a little bit of tissue in the capsule. All right, I can take it from here, and if I just wave it with a pencil, it disappears and then reappears back inside the tube. Now this can happen again and again. I can take it, in fact, just pop it through the lid, and once again it appears back inside the tube. Now we could do this again and again. In fact, if I was to place it in this pocket, it would melt through the pocket lining like this, right? It just happens all the time. Or you put it in your back pocket, and once again you would notice that it appears back inside the tube. What's really weird though is that actually inside the lid is a lemon, and that, my friends, is the Magus Capsule. So there we go. I hope you enjoy that. Hopefully I didn't give away too much, or my performance was a bit rubbish of that. Hopefully not. But you get an idea of what you can perform with this. So on the DVD, he teaches tricks where an egg is produced at the end. He basically taught me how to fold a little origami kind of bird. And he does it with a paper bird, and it disappears and then reappears back inside. And it happens again and again, and then finally an egg is produced at the end. There's routines with 3 balls. The 3 balls disappear and keep on reappearing back inside. He does a lot with the pop-up move and all sorts in that. But one really good routine, really good, is he has a piece of tissue paper, and they sign their name on it, and he balls it up, makes it disappear, and then the tissue paper reappears back inside. And he does this 2 or 3 times, and their signed tissue paper reappears back inside. The final time, he lights the tissue paper, and like flash paper, it just disappears and then reappears finally once again back inside the capsule. The great thing about that is, because it's using flash paper, it's burning the evidence, right? It's burning that gimmick, and so now it's gone. So he went very clean. Like I say, the benefits of this are the fact that it's in the hands, that it's all self-contained. You can keep a lot of your other stuff inside there, your rope, your sponge, you know, earplugs or whatever inside there. But also, I think one of the drawbacks, in my opinion, is the jumbo production of producing something that doesn't really fit inside. But then, I don't know, let me know in the comments, is that a drawback? Because a lot of the time when we produce things in a chop cup, we produce 2 items, and then you show them at the end that there's no way that both of those items can fit inside. Obviously, it's just, in this case, it's just 1 item that comes out, and you think, well, it doesn't even fit in there, so how does that happen? It would be interesting to get your opinion on this. But I do need your input. Firstly, I want to know, have you ever seen the Magus Capsule? Did you ever own the Magus Capsule? And if so, do you still own it? Do you still use it? But also, do you think that this will help you resurrect that routine and maybe be brave enough to go out and do it at a gig, or show your friends or anything like that? Let me know. Let me know in the comments. I do want to get your opinion on this, because I think there's something in this routine that needs to really, we need to give it a go and really see if we can use this, and maybe, like I said, hopefully kind of resurrect it in using a more ordinary item. I'm familiar with these items, and I see them everywhere. I think Imposter by John Morton. There we go. I do know him, but my mind went blank. I think he uses these boxes for that. So they're very commonplace now, and yeah, I want to see whether you think that would be something that you would use. Other news, I have the Alakazam 5% off link still available. So if you purchase from Alakazam anything at all, you can use this code. If you use this code at checkout, that's Ian19103. If you use that at checkout, you will save 5% every single purchase Doesn't matter how many times you use it. Every single time you purchase from Alakazam, you'll save 5%. I will then get given that 5%, which helps support the channel, but you save 5%, so we're both winners. Yeah, I think that is everything. So hopefully you've enjoyed this random video today, and hopefully it kind of inspires you to look at other tricks that you have and to change the props. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.